right, welcome back. And that was Karura Voices. The song is Nena. Beautiful, beautiful song there. And it paves way for the newspaper review, looking at what is being reported in the dailies this morning. And on set, I'm joined by the guru himself. This is the guy who is updating you every top of the hour at Hope FM. This is where you listen and live. And this is none other than Mr. Maingi Mbogwa. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you too, sir.
You're well?
Mimi niko salama. Yes.
Kazi inakupelekaje?
Inanipeleka salama. New year, new season, lots of happenings.
Right.
From all frontiers, politics, sports, business.
Yes.
But zaidi ya yote, Bwana anatamalaki.
Hiyo ndio muhimu zaidi.
Indeed.
Now, looking at what is being reported in today's dailies, the Standard, they go with the headline, revealed junior secondary woos grade 9 headache. Worlds apart. So a survey has revealed the sorry state of junior secondary school implementation in public schools compared to private ones, even as it emerges that the government may be considering moving grade 9 to current secondary schools to take advantage of their teachers, classrooms, and laboratories that will be left idle after this year's KCSE candidates leave. It's a story extensively covered on pages 2, 3, and 4. We have a lot of underutilized resources in secondary schools while primary schools are struggling. These include trained teachers and infrastructure. That is Akelo Misori, the Kupet Secretary General. And so we again wait because, as you know, currently we have the junior secondary school, which is grade 7, 8, and 9. But now, according to what is being reported, 9 could now actually be taken to the secondary schools to pave so that they can be able to utilize the resources there. And I was in a school meeting yesterday, and this was highlighted in a big way. You know,
it's worrisome to ask why sometimes we allow serious policies implementation like these ones to be just fronted without piloted. Because for me, if you ask me, we've seen this with the 2010 constitution, lots of gaps, and therefore this was a precursor of showing us that there is always a problem in implementing a new policy. And as such, what would have worked best was a pilot. However, when you now look at it from the political front, so-and-so wants to be under my regime, this worked, without even minding what would really have the implication on innocent children. But we are hopeful that it will align as we go.
All right. I also see on the front page of the Standard, Raila's Riot Act to rebel ODM leaders. That is on page 10. And of course, he's in the coastal region for a tour to popularize the party ODM. I also see Wamuchomba, Mount Kenya's lone voice of defiance. Wamuchomba, you remember, she's been very vocal. You know, even opposing some government bills in Parliament, saying that they go contrary to what they had promised people. And so they are saying she's the only lone voice of defiance. And actually, but others are, or rather analysts are saying many would actually follow her path, but they are kind of afraid of the repercussions when they openly defy the president's stand on various issues.
Well, you've read two headlines that are following each other back to back. Raila Odinga on one end is bound to actually whip label members of parliament. On the other end, UDA's Gathoni Muchomba, the member of parliament of Githunguri, he's on a different mode, being the lone voice, speaking against some of the policies being implemented by the Kenya Kwanza government, which under the UDA party have a majority, if not all members of parliament, other than the Gatondo North member of parliament. The rest are UDAs, and therefore you're expecting this to play out. However, it also raises the question, is she just opposing for the sake of opposing? Is she giving remedies? Or is she trying to just push the voice of, you know what, I will play safe. While you castigate the government, I'll also join you in castigating the government and also not perform. So it's a question of wait and see.
All right. I also see this is a bad news for traditional media. States adverts plan death blow for free media. The ICT ministry has directed all ministries and state agencies to place adverts in one newspaper. This spells the death knell for major dailies and denying readers government announcements. That is covered on page 9. headline. I also see UK to loan back Ghana's looted jewels. That is the world news, which is covered on page 40. Allow me to go to the Business Daily. IMF in new tax onslaught on rich Kenyans, large investors. Lender argues tax incentives hurting revenue expansion. Reports lays ground for more taxes on the wealthy. So multiple tax incentives and exemptions handed out to the ultra wealthy and large investors in the past decade are undermining Kenya's ambition to grow revenues. That's according to the IMF. I also see German coffee firm shuts Kenya operations on sector reforms. A global coffee miller has announced plans to shut its operations in Kenya next month as the bungled government-backed reforms in the coffee sector continue to disrupt the industry. That you can read on the front page of the Business Daily. I also see insurer shocks PSVs with cashless fares. Public service vehicles insured by Direct Line Assurance will have to switch to cashless fare platforms as insurer moves to curb fraudulent claims related to injuries and deaths. That is on page 6 inside the Business Daily.
To the Taifa Leo, I think this is one of your favorite newspapers. However, it starts with lots of sad news and of course Rita Waine alinyongwa kwanza. Mtaalamu wa upasuaji wa maiti asema mwanachuo huyo alisakamwa akafa kabla ya kukatakatwa na kutupwa. It's the sad ordeal of the late Rita Waine Mwendo, the student from JKUAT who was murdered. And lots of intriguing information coming from the government pathologist Johansen Oduor, with now reports revealing that she was strangled before she was cut into pieces. Horrifying incidents right there. And of course the biggest headline, Mackenzie aliwachapa watoto wafe. Nakala za mashtaka zasema mhubiri tata aliwazaba makofi na kuwacharaza viboko akiwalazimisha kufunga. Mahakama ya watoto yaelezwa kuwa mshukiwa mkuu na wenzake waliwatesa watoto wenye umri wa miaka 6 hadi 17 katika kufunga hadi wafe. It's the ordeal that happened from Shakahola. Chilling revelation, but we're hoping justice will be served to the innocent children that have been involved in this one. And of course, to the Daily Nation, succession politics takes center stage. Who is fooling whom? As the Mount Kenya succession of the deputy president slot, Rigathi Gachagua seemingly under fire from some lawmakers curiously fronting Kiharu Member of Parliament, Dende Nyoro. The surprise boldness of rebel taking on number 2 in the government have got tongues wagging, questions persisting about a hidden force, even as President William Ruto steps in to calm the tide. Yesterday, he was very blatant on the succession politics, speaking during his tour to Meru County. The president was saying it's too early to call this one. However, politics is about succession. And
you know the funny thing?
Yes.
He's talking about it's too early for the same.
He started it early.
We know what happened between 2017. You know what comes around?
Goes around. The more things change, the more they remain the same.
I tell you.
And of course, governors and MCAs are splashing an extra 13 billion shillings on luxuries. The harsh economic times happening in the country have not stopped governors and members of county assemblies from splashing money. This is a report by the Controller of Budget of Margaret Nyakango, who on her first 4 months in office for the newly elected county officials shows that counties cumulatively spend 67.47 billion shillings, an increase from 54.82 billion shillings during a similar period the previous year. And of course, judges have vowed to resist the attack by the ruling party. The onslaught between the judiciary and the executive continues, with the Magistrate Association now saying that they are not going to back down in their effort to fight for the independence of the judiciary. And to the Taifa Leo Sports, this is as far as the African Cup of Nations is concerned. Mathematics really worked best. Wenyeji Ivory Coast waponea, Tunisia na Algeria waaga huku wenyeji ndovu wakipewa Senegal.
And it's been a big one, even as we now turn our focus to the ongoing AFCON. We had a break yesterday and the day before, but now it's to pave way for the round of 16 matches. And it's been a tournament that has been, what can we say, a shocker. And especially to the so-called big guns, because wameonyeshwa kivumbi, if I may borrow Taifa Leo's words. the minnows actually performing well, because some of the teams we did not expect in the round of 16 are actually there. We are talking about the teams like Namibia, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Cape Verde, Mauritania. Well, Burkina Faso maybe, because was it the last one they finished as runners-up.
Yes.
But now looking at other teams, really, it was a shocker. Looking at some of the teams that even exited the tournament, 2019 champions Algeria, the Desert Foxes,
Ghana's Black Stars,
the Black Stars of Ghana. So it's been a tournament that people are saying now this is how a tournament should be. Even as we wait for the round of 16 to start tomorrow, and actually tomorrow it kicks off at 8 p.m.
Yes, Angola playing Namibia in Bouake. And of course, at 11 p.m., we'll see an West African sort of derby.
Yeah.
As in Abidjan, Nigeria playing none other than Indomitable Lions.
There was a time when these two teams were facing off. Everything would come to a near standstill.
Definitely.
Because when you remember the Super Eagles of then, the Indomitable Lions of then.
JJ, your coaches of that.
The Kanu,
the Webbos of that time.
Go to Cameroon, Rigobert Song, Weleto, Patrick Mboma. You
big
know,
names, big guns.
How the mighty have fallen. You know, when you look back and you remember those names. But anyway, so that is tomorrow, 11 p.m. Nigeria versus Cameroon, and then on Sunday we'll have Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea, and Equatorial Guinea also having a fantastic tournament, thrashing the hosts 4-0.
Yes.
No one saw that coming.
No one saw it coming. However, I don't know why we are looking at an Equatorial Guinea from such an eye. Yeah. Remembering the last edition, they played out to even the semi-finals.
Yeah.
And also the consistency of the team.
Yeah.
And the belief. Because if there's one thing that defines when it comes to scores, it's the tenacity.
Yeah.
It's that individual brilliance. And we've seen it with the current top scorer, Enseo, who is leading the pack. Emilio Enseo scoring 5 goals into the tournament thus far. And then on the very same Sunday in San Pedro, Egypt will be playing none other than the DR Congo.
Yeah.
Then on Monday,
Egypt just squeezed themselves into the round of 16. Luckily, thanks to what happened in the other results, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, in the other matches,
they made it through because of none other than Mozambique with the 2 late goals to cancel a 2-0 lead from Ghana.
Yeah.
And in the other match, it will be the big one because this one might by all means determine who wins this tournament. I'm speaking about the game that will be played in Yamoussoukro. Senegal, the defending champions, will be playing the host, Cote d'Ivoire. And mathematics was the only thing that really made the host stay into this one. Remember, they only won one game, and they made it through as the 4th team of the third place best. Yes, and of course on Tuesday we'll see Mali playing Burkina Faso as Morocco plays South Africa.
All right. So those are the matches in the round of 16, and of course we get to see what happens from tomorrow. Thank you, Bwana Joseph.
Karibu sana.
How can we be able to listen to the news?
Definitely, you can catch up every latest update on Hope FM. We are on Hope FM. That is on www.hopemediakenya.org.
Yep.
You can follow us and listen to us live from all our local frequencies here in Nairobi on 93.3. And follow us on our social media platforms at Hope FM Live. We'll be keeping you updated.
All right. Thank you so very much, Maingi Mbogwa, sub-editor in as far as news coverage in Hope Media is concerned. And that's all we had prepared for you in as far as the same is concerned. This is to ensure that we get to know what's happening. And also, number 2, as believers, we keep being reminded that also how to pray for the nation, because we are to pray for our nation, pray for the leadership. So this is also to help us get to know how to pray for our nation. Now this paves way for the video of the day. We will be talking much more when we are coming back.